Welcome to the world united. Welcome to the world united.
Thank you.
And Deb, welcome.
Thank you.
So thank you so much, Nancy. One of the points that really stuck with me is the point we are at in the world right now. We are in the midst of a global pandemic that is affecting every area, every sphere of our lives. And you had this slide, that we are, there's letting go, and there is fear and anxiety, and then there is this other side. And some of the people have made it there, but the vast majority of the people are here with the fear, and sometimes you go there and something else comes up. So we are experiencing this fear, and you talk about this space, this gap, the space between no longer and not yet, right? Which we all fear. And you have, when you look around, where do you think, you explained a meditation, you explained meditatively how we can go there. Where do you think are people stuck, like in this pandemic? Where do we think, what do you see, what is your observation? Where do you think, because there's so many people tuned in right now all over the world, what is your message for them, how to deal with this specifically, this pandemic? Do you have any way?
In two ways. One certainly is about surrendering to what is and letting go and allowing the, whatever you call it, God, the divine light and love, to help guide us. I think more than anything right now, the healing of the whole planet is not just in the hands of the human being and what we do. I think we also have to heal at a spiritual level globally. And that's what makes this event so important, because it is allowing us to share our messages, to share our methods with how to do that. And we all have something to offer that's different from someone else. So surrendering in that regard, yes, and is one of the pieces, one of the answers to your question. And the other answer is that I think there's so much grief and so much loss that we're in the midst of, and it's happening every day all over. And because of this pandemic and how everyone has been responding to it, especially in the US, I'm horrified to say, but it's the other answer to how we get through the fear is to actually deal with our feelings of loss, trauma, and grief, and transforming that into really the gifts, the healing, the wisdom of what this grief is about. I think this is such a window of opportunity for that. And that's one of my most passionate missions, is to help the whole globe learn, educate how to deal with loss and grief differently. And there may be differences in each culture about how to go about that, but the bottom line is we all need, as human beings, to really allow and respect that process, the journey of loss and grief. And that's what I've been on for so long, that brought me to this place. And this place is wonderful now, because now I'm taking everything that I've experienced and learned and healed to others. And that's my life purpose. That was a long answer. But
It was
I can go on and on about that mission, because I really think grief as a whole, globally, with the exception of certain cultures, probably, cultures not like our like the US, really don't don't understand grief. They perceive it negatively. They don't know what to do with it. They don't know how to experience it themselves, and they don't know how to help and support other people who are experiencing it.
Mhm. Yes, and sometimes, Nancy, what I feel is that this thing called positive thinking, sometimes people have misinterpreted it. I don't know if you see it in your work. They have misinterpreted positive thinking to not honoring, not acknowledging that grief. And
Absolutely.
yeah, do you see that? Do you see that around you?
Yes, yes. It's been for many, many years as I've, gotten into this kind of spirituality. It's very upsetting. I've had people say to me personally, or talk about, oh, don't think negatively. Don't feel that, because then you're just going to attract more. And
Yes.
I think that's totally backwards. I I think really what we all need to do is surrender to whatever, to allow what is, to allow what's happening, and to experience all the emotions that happen as a result of that experience. And some of those emotions, before you can get to the healing, are not very comfortable. They're feelings people don't want to feel: loss and depression and hopelessness. But had I not, for example, dealt with all that, I wouldn't be where I am today. I would probably, I probably would have killed myself. But, when you're that in that kind of dark place, so you have to allow yourself to go through that. And it's not just stop the thoughts. It's many more levels than just stopping your thoughts.
So Nancy, I have a question for you. There's, as you know, and I'm curious as to how you work people through this in your practice, especially in America, and then I think in Britain, there's a cultural mores. There is a definite reaction about the word surrender. It's equated with giving up, failure. And of course, we have the famous spiritual quote, never, never, never give up, and so how do you work people through that and realize that surrender is actually the beginning of embracing success and not failure?
Oh, well said, Deb. Well said, right there. It is about allowing for the possibility of what's going on to be even better, even bigger, and more healing happens. So, yes, I think it's a process of, which I tried to convey in the video, about understanding the difference between giving up and surrender, how you choose that, what goes into your understanding of really when is it time to surrender and when is it time to give up, just let it go, stop. And, there are some times when it's appropriate to give up. Giving up is not a bad thing. It's just not necessarily the most, in general, powerful response. Surrender is more of a powerful response because it brings in all, not only yourself, but your spirituality. Mm-hmm. And that's really the most important part.
I want to thank Nancy and Deb, for actually bringing this up. Nancy, for talking about, sometimes how when you are indulging in positive thinking and you're suppressing your grief, you're not doing justice to yourself or your whole self. And Deb, this thing, everyone says never give up. And so often you feel people just stuck in really bad situations because never give up. And it has become a phrase that is so embedded in our minds that we think that anyone who has gone out of a toxic situation or something that is this, they have given up. And, yes, you said no to something, but you are saying yes to something else. And Deb, I love how you said that the empowerment and, this is what I feel, that, what is the difference between resignation and surrender is, I think resignation will it sucks your energy, it makes you powerless. And as you said, what surrender does is it empowers us. And just thank you for like bringing this, and I think it really needed to be said and heard by people, so thank you both. I have this, I cannot let you go before asking you about your service dog. You have in our chat earlier, and also from your bio, I could gather that your service dog played an integral part in your healing process, I would say, or your work. So could you elaborate on that?
Certainly. Yes, my service dog Toaster was initially really instrumental in
love the name. Love the name, just brings you up.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of a toaster, like, it just brings you up. Toasty.
Yeah, and I probably should give some background about how that name came about, because this is also part of her service. Well, after the car accident, I had a lot of chronic pain, unending chronic pain. And I discovered this rare breed called the Mexican hairless, or the Xoloitzcuintli, that was a breed, a rare and ancient breed in the Aztec culture 3,500 years ago. And they were considered spiritual, mystical healing dogs. And because they're hairless or very short coated, they emanate a lot of heat when they're against your body, skin to skin. So I used to have a microwave neck wrap that I used like 24/7 for a long time. And when I discovered about this breed, doing healing by, basically heating, like a heating pad, I decided to throw out my microwave heating pad and get one of these small Xolos and put her around my neck and call her Toaster. So she became my 24/7 no microwave hot dog. And and you can learn more about my whole journey with Toaster, and then one of her puppies that Animal Planet filmed her whole pregnancy and whelping. You'll see Pink being born. The two of them became really integral into my really understanding the importance of surrender. For example, my Toaster's daughter, Pink, became three-legged at the age of 1 after a surgery to fix the knee. It broke. And so I had to make that decision to let the vet amputate her, and she became a three-legged dog. But what she taught me about surrender and about play in the balance was that she only took maybe a week or so before she was up and running as if nothing had ever happened. In that interim, she realized she didn't have the same leverage. She didn't know how to, balance or run. She used to chase Toaster, and then she would fall when she first started walking again on 3 legs, she fell, and my eyes just teared up when I watched her fall chasing Toaster. And then I tell you, before the tear even dropped, she was up and after Toaster again. And it really got me up and off the couch and really started understanding about the gift of surrender. She accepted what was, and then she went on to be even better. She became an amazing service dog. And in fact, I wrote her whole story as a children's book called Pink, the Three-Legged Dog Who Lost Her Leg and Found Her Courage. So, yeah, so they have, have the book.
Oh my gosh! Is this children's kind of book, or is this like a children's? Like, could this be read by children?
Oh yes, it is a children's book.
Can you open it? Can you open it? Like, can you?
So it's a story of her having the accident. Although that's the only part of the story that isn't true. I have her chasing a squirrel up a tree and then she broke her leg. But that isn't really what happened. She had a luxated patella. But let's see.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful, beautiful.
This is one of my favorites. This is her having chased the squirrel and hurt her leg. So yeah, so it's all about her, you know, having to deal with being amputated, and then here she's depressed, she's sad, she's grieving her leg, and she doesn't know what is going to happen. But then let me find some. Yeah, so here again, she's grieving and watching Toaster on the beach doing something that she can no longer do. And then after looking at the window in her hospital bed, she realized she could be like an airplane. And so she flew onto the couch or the bed, wherever she wanted to go, which at first she was unable to do. So she's an amazing illustration and mentor about the whole journey of loss and transformation. And yeah, so I don't know, did that answer your question?
Yes, so beautiful. Deb, would you like to add something before we go into closure? Nancy, I just want to share that the butterfly behind you just brings in the theme of transformation again and again. It's just like a visual reminder of transformation.
It is.
Yes, Deb.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful that the book that you've written. And I've seen so many YouTube videos from rehab, animal projects at rehab, and there's, you know, two-legged dogs, and they actually have specialized now in doing prosthetics and little parts and things, so that animals are not just dogs, but animals are totally mobile, and they are amazing in their love and their determination to just keep going, you know. And I work with recovering. I have worked with recovering people in alcoholism addiction for like 40 some years, and people resist that surrender in the beginning. But I think the important is, and you've brought this out, you're surrendering to something larger. You're not giving in to the small problem, but you're surrendering to a much larger picture. And that's the key.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that out. It's beautiful, beautiful.
I just want to keep being in the space, but I want to close with gratitude to Nancy for sharing her personal story, the personal story of Toaster and Pink, and how that has inspired and reached, you know, hundreds and millions of people, and, you know, will continue to do that. And Deb for adding her insights. And I will always remember that phrase, never give up, because I know it is really, we need to change that. You know, we need to change that vibrational field of that and release so many people, you know, who are stuck there. So thank you, both of you. Thank you to Dr. Yugandhar for giving us this opportunity and creating this platform, along with the Global Council of World United, and just giving us this space and allowing us to create this vibrational field, which I'm sure will ripple all throughout the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the beautiful job you do. You are a gift.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nancy.
Yeah. Durja, can we close the live streaming, please? Just let me know when we are off. So yeah, thank you so much, both of you. And Nancy, I look forward to connecting to you in San Diego.
Yes, I'd be happy about that. And we can do it, you know, sooner than you know, COVID, you know, especially if you want more information about the use of a dog and how that might work for your son.
Thank you. Durja, are you here?
Thank you, Deb. That was
Thank you, Deb.
a great comment you made with your question. Really well put.
Thank you.
gave part of the answer, which is what I was saying.
Sorry.
No, it was really good. That's what I was saying. That was really well said.
Appreciate.
Mhm.
Appreciate. I'm looking forward to looking into your 7-step process.
Thank
Very
you.
much.
Yes, the 7 powerful. And let me tell you, it's interesting because I didn't get to say this, but to clarify, but never giving up is one of the 7 practices. But it's because there are times where you don't want to give. It's not the answer to give up. Just like I was saying, sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't. So it's good to really to understand the difference between surrender and giving up, because that allows you to choose when it's appropriate to keep going. I mean, there were times, I can tell you, for me and for Pink, that I wanted to give up. I didn't, I can't tell you, through the process of building